Quick experiment. Raise your hand. Now try to tickle yourself. Seriously. Armpit, ribs, neck, wherever you're most ticklish. Go, right now. Nothing right? Weird. Now imagine Christiana tickles you in exactly the same spot, the same way, with the same pressure. You would be on the floor in about 3 seconds. This should not make sense. You are doing the same motion. But your brain is having none of it. Your brain, it turns out, refuses to let you tickle yourself. And the reason why is genuinely kind of beautiful. In simple terms, to explain this, we need to visit a specific neighborhood in your brain called the cerebellum. Latin for little brain, which is accurate. It sits at the back of your skull, about the size of a tennis ball, and it has been quietly running most of your movements your entire life. Balance, fine motor control, catching a ball, typing without looking, walking while also holding a coffee, all cerebellum. It is the unrecognized roommate of your skull. You never think about it. It never complains. The cerebellum has one very specific skill that matters for tickling. Every time you send a command to move any part of your body, say, move the right hand toward the left armpit, your brain also sends a copy of that command to the cerebellum. A little memo. A heads up. Neuroscientists call this an efference copy, which is maybe the least romantic phrase in human biology. But the idea is lovely. The cerebellum takes the memo and predicts, ahead of time, what that movement will feel like. Exactly, milliseconds before it happens. Then the actual movement happens. Your fingers brush your armpit, sensory signals travel up. And the cerebellum says, yes, I predicted this exactly. Nothing interesting. Subtract. And the sensation is quietly dampened, almost deleted. This is literally what happens when you try to tickle yourself. You felt almost nothing because the cerebellum turned the volume down before the nerve signal even arrived. Your brain saw the punchline before you told it. Someone else tickling you? Different story. No efference copy. No prediction. The cerebellum has no memo about this. The sensory signal arrives, completely unexpected. Brain says, something external is touching us. Alert. And you laugh until you regret existing. Which brings us to the best little experiment in the history of brains. University College London, year 2000. A researcher named Sarah-Jayne Blakemore, along with Daniel Wolpert and Chris Frith, decided to prove this with a robot. Yes, a tickle robot. The setup was extraordinary. You sit in the lab. You hold a joystick in your hand. The joystick is connected to a mechanical arm, which, based on how you move the joystick, tickles your own hand. So you are tickling yourself through a robot. And at first, guess what? Not ticklish. You moved the joystick, the robot tickled you, your cerebellum predicted it, and the signal got dampened. Same old story, same cancelled movement, nothing new. Then they added one small thing, a delay. A tiny delay. Maybe 1/10 of a second between when you moved the joystick and when the robot arm actually tickled your hand. And suddenly it felt ticklish. Your own hand, your own motion, your own tickle. But now somehow, it worked. Because the cerebellum's prediction no longer matched reality. It had said tickle happens now. But the tickle actually happened 1/10 of a second later. That tiny mismatch was enough for the brain to flip the signal from self to external. From cancelled to alerting. They also tried spatially offsetting the tickle, having the robot tickle a slightly different spot than the one your motion predicted. Same result. Ticklish. The cerebellum is essentially running a tight prediction algorithm, and it breaks the moment prediction and reality disagree. Here's the part that starts blowing minds. This is not just about tickling. The cerebellum's predict and subtract trick is running constantly. Everywhere. All day. Every movement you make, your brain is running a little forecast, subtracting the expected sensation, and only flagging surprise. It is the reason you can't sneak up on yourself. The reason your own jokes don't surprise you. The reason surgeons do not like operating on themselves. The signals feel muted, wrong. The reason you struggle to massage your own shoulders. You are always pre-warning yourself. Your entire conscious experience is, at the edges, a carefully curated list of things your brain did not expect. Everything else got deleted from the feed before you noticed. Consciousness is basically a surprise report. Tickling is just the part where you find that out. And here is where the story takes a turn. Because while most humans are unable to tickle themselves, some people can. Specifically, some patients with schizophrenia. Which, at first, sounds like a random factoid. It is not. It is possibly the most important clue in the whole field. In schizophrenia, one of the best supported theories is that the efference copy system, the brain's "this is you" moving signal, is partially broken. Actions feel foreign. Internal voices can feel like external voices. Your own thoughts can feel like someone else's. Because if your brain can't tag movements as self, they get tagged as other. Which is exactly what happens in the tickle lab. Remove the prediction, and your own hand starts feeling like a stranger's hand. For some patients, the brain is running that experiment all the time, studying why Christiana, and you, and almost everyone else can't tickle themselves has become part of how neuroscientists think about consciousness, agency, and self. The tickle is not the point. The tickle is a side effect of the system that tells you what is you and what isn't, which is, honestly, a tremendously big job for a small lump of brain at the back of your head. The cerebellum, the unassuming little roommate, is quietly drawing the line between self and world about 1,000 times per second. So next time you try to tickle yourself and feel nothing, know that the reason is, technically, the most important problem in neuroscience, and also, congratulations, your brain is working. Boring is, in this case, the correct answer. This one is for Christiana. Ask anyone to tickle you, but do not do it yourself. You will be disappointed. Subscribe. In simple terms.